It
Never
says
mind.
we're live, everybody.
Hey!
Hello. How are you today?
We're doing our best to get here on time, and we're doing better and better. So let's see who's here real quick. Mary Page Flynn, there's Craig Doniger, Anthony's Fishy Friends, Swampy Acres, hey Tom, Bird Garden, which is actually our guest tonight, Rack, Edie, Lucky Smith, howdy howdy. Misfit Reptiles is Brennan. Patty's Petite Tanks is Patty.
Patty.
And Lunatic Fringe is Chewy. And Jimmy Pease is Jimmy. Science Gal Aquatics is Carrie. And I'm at the bot, Dennis Christensen. All right, welcome.
Hello.
So you guys know everybody on the panel. If you don't, check them out. We'll have their links posted throughout the chat, I hope. And we have awesome mods. I only see a couple here, but they can do the job for sure. Hey, Paul McCarthy. But if you don't know these channels, check them out.
You made me a mod.
Yeah, I did make you a mod, Didi, because there's so many times you need to post things and you hadn't been able to do it. So
I'm expected to work now. Wow.
Well, and I was planning on getting rid of Skipper, and I keep forgetting it. So
See, it's one of the good things about being an underachiever. Nobody expects anything from you.
That's
Yeah.
right.
exactly.
I was just coasting and I wasn't saying a word.
Hey, Patrick. No, Skipper's the hitman, so we can't get rid of him. We need him, so for sure.
We need the hitman.
Yeah, everybody's got to have one of those just in case.
Ed, it's awesome to have you back. I know you've been on other streams, and
So nice to see your smiling face, Ed.
it is. And your skinny face. My
He looks
God.
so good too.
35 pounds, I believe. So
Wow. Are you kidding?
Yep. That's what somebody told me. That's the word on the streets.
That's the word on the street. Yep.
Hey, if it's on the streets, it must be true.
Right. It's like YouTube, right?
Well,
All right. Well, we've got our special guest backstage, and that is Rack Cross. And as I said in the description, Rack is truly a GOAT, an OG. I can't remember what GOAT stands for, but it's the current OG. So I put both of them in there for both generations. Greatest something.
Of all time.
Greatest of all time. That's it. Ed knows. Ed knows the lingo.
wow.
Thank you, Ed. Anyway, he is. He's the greatest of all time, and he's an original gangster. So Rack's been around a long time in the FishFam, and he has done so many projects for the FishFam and with the FishFam, and just so many things. Project Piava. He's had his inside fish tanks. He's had his ponds. He has a huge pond now, a koi pond. He follows birds. He's a birder. And has done a lot of stuff with the birding. So he's got his finger in a little bit of everything. Susie's got his art there.
Yep.
He's an awesome artist. Rack is just a man's man, actually. He knows a little bit about everything, and he's an awesome teacher. So we're really thrilled to have him on. And I had a cancellation. Actually, I'd already talked to him about scheduling, so he was willing to come up with like 16 hours notice too, so that we would have a guest tonight. So thank you so much, Rack. Let me go see if I can find him now.
Can I add
He's a
something to
bird
that, Bob?
watcher.
There he is.
Rack is also part of the Tennessee Fish Mafia, and he has a mafia name.
Oh, for
He's the
sure.
Kingfisher.
He's the what?
Kingfisher.
Kingfisher.
King.
That's right.
Yeah. And
Oh.
some of you know my beautiful wife, the Queen Fisher.
The Queen
I think
Fisher.
that's
Right?
good.
And she's actually his better half, which is hard to believe. He's
Far
such a great
better.
guy.
Far better. Those were nice things you said about me, Bob.
Well, they're just a fraction of the things I could say, but I won't shut up if I.
But just so there's no mistake, that check's not getting any bigger than I'm sending.
Yeah, made him send me a donation, right?
Bob, I know this. I mean, these are lovely people here. It's so good to be here with all of you. And I knew that on this show, it required somebody of above average intelligence and beauty. And Bob said he was in a bind, and I said since no one like that was available, I would fill in. But We'll see what happens.
I was wondering how much you paid him to come up here.
Well, you know,
Wow.
good things cost a lot sometimes.
You guys see that some of us know Rack very well. We're good friends. And I've actually met Rack and his wife, his lovely wife. They're just lovely people. So,
Yeah, we said the same about you too, Bob.
huh?
As we say the same about you.
Oh, I thought you said we say something about you.
That's what I thought he said.
What's that?
We say some things about
Whoops,
you.
where did Rack go? Where'd he go? Y'all are so crazy. Well, thank you
I'll
so
be nice
much.
tonight, Bob.
You'll be nice? All right.
That's a switch.
Right. You're sitting right by him, Dee Dee. Hold him to it.
We'll see how long it lasts.
Right?
Yeah, it won't last long.
It won't.
Is it okay if I tell Rack something cool real quick?
Yeah, you can do anything you want with him.
Yesterday at Aquaticon, they had the raffle, and I won 2 things in the raffle, and one of them was
No,
a
you
piece of Rack's framed art.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, nice.
Way to go, Ed.
Very
Imagine
Which
Ed
one was
winning
it?
something in a raffle.
Oh, man, that's one of my favorite. I have the
Which one was
original
it?
on the studio wall.
Which
Well,
one?
I got first choice, and so that was my favorite, and I like Endlers.
That's
But
a good one.
I ended up giving it away.
Oh, cool. Who got it?
Well,
Thank
the
you,
raffle lasted an hour, and then I also had to judge the competition for the shrimp. And so Susan, the fish mom, sold my stuff for about an hour and a half. And I came up and she said, "Oh, it's so beautiful." And I felt so bad that I stuck her in my spot. I said, because I have like 4 of your pieces already. I gave it to her because I said, "Do you have any of Rex?" And she said, "No." So I gave it to her.
Perfect. Perfect. Good job, Ed. You're a good man.
Yeah.
It is a good
That's cool. That was a great event at Aquaticon. I'm glad that I went. So glad I got to see you, Ed.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Rack, that was nice of you to donate art. And you donated several pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, I donated 5 framed prints.
Nice.
Yeah. I was glad to do it. That's the least I could do for such an effort. I'm so proud of our regional guys for pulling that off. It was a magnanimous task.
Yes.
And it went off. They did it. They hauled off and they did it, and I'm proud of them.
You could tell just from watching the videos. I was in a few of the live streams of people going around, and you could tell that it was an awesome event. I was so impressed.
Yeah, it was
Greg,
amazing.
Greg Jones is saying it's nice to see you, Rack. He's got 24 procumbens manna to wire out soon. Dilly, friend.
That he's talking about bonsai material. Those are plants, little Japanese garden junipers, and I'm afraid I introduced Greg to bonsai, and they are addictive, and I think he's not gotten over the bug yet.
Yeah, that's another thing that I meant that I could go on and on about. What you got, Ed?
Ed's got a
my
aquarium
aquarium
box.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I
You
think
know,
I have
Greg-
one in every room in the house.
Bob, one of the accolades that no one knows about because I didn't share it is Greg Jones gave me an award for the greatest My Aquarium Box unboxing of all time. And I took my aquarium box to Alaska and made a video video about unboxing my aquarium box. The twist in it was TSA unboxed it before I did. So I was doing the big unboxing, blind reveal, and here's a card from the TSA.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
I won 2 mega boxes, and the first one I won was with Rack because they picked 2 a month.
Yeah.
And my first one was with Rack, and then the second time I won was with Sean Peck.
How
So
cool is
the
that?
Tennessee boy showed up twice there.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think that's how we got to know each other, Ed, as we were both
Yep.
doing unboxing videos for my aquarium box.
I
I was
them.
wondering about that earlier. I couldn't remember. Yeah. Cool.
That's good.
Yeah, everybody in the chat that was there is talking about what a great event it was, and they can't wait till next time. Awesome. Awesome. So,
Well, if they have it next year, I'm going to be there.
Good.
well, I am too. Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm going to come pick your butt up and you're going.
And Lefty said he drove right by Susie. He should have picked her up.
I know. I would jumped right in.
Oh, that'd been fun.
That would be awesome. Let's go ahead and start planning that. Well, Rack, I don't have any agenda. I'm kind of doing like Pam does when you go on her channel. No questions, no
I'll be right
agenda.
back.
Right? Fly by the seat of your pants. No, who was that interviewed you, Pam, one time? It was Derek. And Pam,
Derek,
do you have any questions for me? And he did. And he was like, well, I figured things would come up.
Beautiful. Look at that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Can you tell us about this, Rack?
Yeah.
Let me blow you up. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
There you go.
So, I did an entire series of art that was aquarium fish inspired, and including an art show at the beginning of COVID. We had a gallery that was going to have to close down, and I told them I had a YouTube channel and we could hang my show early and just make it a virtual show. And I got to do, the show was called Rat Cross Endorsed by Nature. I forget how many aquarium fish pieces it had, but it was like there were over a dozen abstract aquarium fish pieces. That was one of them. And that one that polarized people. People either really didn't like that one or it was one of their favorites. And that happens to be one of my wife's favorites. And that's how it made it to postcard status. I only have a few postcards, but that was my wife's pick. And that is a turquoise rainbow fish that I had observed at one of the aquatic experiences and photographed, and just blew up and did a few studies, and that composition just really stuck with me. So I painted it. I painted a sketch, and then I put it on a canvas, and it was fantastic.
Rack, how can I get one of those few last ones, please?
Those cards are available for Ed to distribute however he wants to.
I was gonna, every time once we figure out how to start shipping Tennessee Fish Mafia t-shirts and hats.
Beautiful hat.
They sold out, Rack.
Awesome.
I was gonna put one of those in there. You also get the Mafia stickers, and I'm sure I'll get some Bob Kaler stickers and Fish Room Fever stickers.
Kind of like we did on the sticker jam. Here's just something else to put in the package. Well, if you would, I want you to consider giving my friend Bob one of those, Ed. If you'd hold one back for Bob, I would appreciate it.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Rack. He's on
On the other side of town.
I'm getting a hat, Ed. I'm getting a hat. Come on.
Just tell them it's $39.99.
It should be free 99 for me.
6
Come on.
payments of $39.99.
You guys, I love that one. I love it.
I do believe I have that.
No, I like the Cardinal Tetra is my favorite.
I gotta look.
I have the Cardinal Tetra.
That was one of the prints I donated because it's one of my favorites too.
Steve-O, Scuba Steve-O, he won the koi.
Oh wow, those three color koi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sankey or Showa, one of those two.
I got a cardinal from Sean Peck's wife. She has some awesome art, and Robert was kind enough to pick up. It's a little bigger than a card. It's maybe like a 5x7. It's a full cardinal. So
Well, my wife, Bob, we talked, and I told you my wife had bought some of Holly Peck's art there at Aquaticon. She
Yeah.
also got a couple of cardinals, and they were smaller than a card. They were just little thumbnails, and she also got a large owl. So Holly Peck is knocking out some beautiful art.
Yeah.
And that's
She's
Sean
awesome.
Peck's wife, if I didn't mention that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I got a little goldfish piece.
nice.
That's
Yeah,
good.
nice booth.
I wish I had gone. Dang it. Oh well.
It wasn't the same without you, Bob.
What?
It wasn't the same without you.
Oh,
Thank God, huh?
Yeah, things were very peaceful and orderly.
where did Pam go? Let me find her. Y'all are so mean. Gosh.
Listen,
They don't call us sketchy for nothing.
I tried. But
Let me
that's
see it.
pretty cool, Ed. I
That's,
tried, but
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
That's nice.
Very nice.
Super cute.
And that's Holly's.
Yep. And
Awesome.
Sean doesn't have a sticker. I keep telling him, if you're going to be a YouTuber, you got to buy a sticker so you can become popular. But Holly had stickers.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
Holly Peck's got stickers, and Peck Tech doesn't have stickers.
How the hell is that
Grant
possible?
said Shelby bought the same one, Ed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, you know,
Awesome.
There
Peck
was an
Tech was one of the
Akara.
largest YouTubers there. Maybe he's on to something not having stickers. I don't know.
Oops.
Yeah, use
Makes
your
him a
wife's
loser.
art.
All right.
I like stickers. I'm always giving this. I've got a sticker ministry, I call it. You get too close to me, you're getting a sticker.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Or cozy.
Yeah, and another thing Rack does with his art is he has a ukulele, and he does designer ukuleles. If I'm not saying this correct, let me know, Rack.
I've used the ukulele as a canvas. I made this one. It was
Oh,
a ukulele kit, and I
beautiful.
styled it
Oh, I haven't
and
seen that
stained
one.
it. This one I call Sunflower Burst.
I love that one.
I added a sound hole.
Aw.
Yeah, put a little bling on the heel. And the green and the yellow colors I just mixed and stained and brought that natural wood grain out.
That's
That's
cool.
beautiful. Sing your logo song. Sing your theme song.
I've not practiced that one.
Ah,
The last time I played this, I got blues all over it. It might still have some blues on it. Let me see.
That's
Awesome.
cool.
Awesome.
That's sexy.
yeah, Lily.
Hey, while I've got the screen here, Bob, I'd like to show a piece of art that I painted after my Hawaii trip. This is called
Nice.
Polly.
I want that. I want that, Rack.
Well, we're
Oh
going
my
to do an
goodness.
auction on the live stream soon.
Wow, that's great.
Tell me when the live stream is. Is it Monday at 1?
Wednesday.
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 Wednesday at 1.
That's Polly. We're going to auction off Polly. And that's the only piece we're going to auction. We're going to auction one piece, and then if the auction goes to different levels, I'll add incentives in addition to Polly, depending on where the bid goes.
See, that's when I'm checking in at the Ark and relieving the morning person at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it won't be right at 1, right?
It'll start at 1 and continue.
Mm.
And then
Okay.
you can have somebody bid in proxy for you. You'll pay them back later. Wink, wink.
Oh, Dee Dee. Yeah, Dee Dee, I can work a deal with you, I bet.
I bet Bobby Bacala has a lot of people that owes him favors.
They do. They do. Where I was going with that, Rack, while you're still up there, is about the pigs, that you even have some art with your pigs.
I do. I made some. I don't have one handy, but I did some of this style of just free hand abstract, and then from the same inspiration, I would build kinetic art mobiles. And I found I could use the colorful guitar picks
Oh, wow.
that
Okay.
are suspended and balanced, and they worked out pretty well. I've made a video years ago that Peck Tech liked talking about showing. I put a mobile that I had made on a piece of aquarium driftwood and sank it in the aquarium, so it was an underwater mobile. And then when I turned the water on, it caused it to move. It swayed like it was like in slow motion. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Very cool.
That's why I love Rack. He always comes up with the coolest ideas.
Yeah, you get dealt a twisted mind. You got to make the best of it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of twisted minds, while you are up there, if you don't mind, I'll leave you a minute. What are you doing right now besides the things we've talked about?
Well,
What do you do? Sorry.
it's pond season, so we're so happy to have our pond to just chill every night, listen to the water, see the frogs, and right now the water's clear. I shot a little video today of that new koi food I bought at Aquaticon.
Oh, cool.
I can show you that video if you don't mind me holding my phone up to the camera.
Oh, please do. No.
I don't have it uploaded for a quality presentation, so I'll have to make do here. I'll turn the volume off.
Oh man.
Oh my.
That's so super clear, that water.
It's very enjoyable when it's like that, and I like to keep it that way. So they're really going after that new food. And if you look, there's some tiny ones in there. We had offspring last year.
Oh, how great is that?
Nice.
The beautiful pond.
So we got about a dozen larger ones and a dozen smaller ones.
That's awesome.
Are you gonna put that up on your pond live stream? Or
Yeah, eventually I will, Skipper, for sure. I think I'm also going to include it in some bird garden content because it is
Yes.
part of the bird garden.
Yeah.
That's inspirational, though.
It's so much fun. So I've traded all of my indoor tanks in for a gigantic outdoor pond, and I don't have any regrets so far. Even though in the wintertime it's not really accessible. Oh, here we go.
Oh, I love
Oh.
it.
Oh my gosh.
Action. I've got the iPhone with a Life Proof, there's the name brand case on it, so I can stick it in the water just for that purpose.
The fins on that one koi were so feathery and beautiful.
And actually, that wasn't a terribly expensive koi. I got that when it was very small from Blue Ridge in North Carolina. Blue Ridge, it's not koi. Next Day Koi, that's their koi outlet. Next Day
Yep.
Koi.
Uh-huh.
And it was solid black. It was jet black. So that fish's name is Ghost. And over the years, it gets lighter and lighter, orange and white. So it's been pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Thanks, Skipper. I appreciate that link.
You're welcome.
And some of those fish are from Japan. They're very expensive koi. And one of those fish is actually a show winner. It finished second place in a large international competition in Orlando, Florida.
I remember that.
I do too. That was an awesome video too, guys. Check that
Yeah.
out.
Talk about an education, guys. I mean, if you're ever looking to learn, pick up some more fish knowledge or information, koi is a good place to spend a day on YouTube and Wikipedia. It's really amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pond envy.
Well, I suffered from that until I just got my own pond, right?
Yeah.
It's not a cheap toy. It's not
No,
cheap,
it is not.
but I love it. It also inspired a YouTube purchase. I bought a drone just so I could document that pond being built. So on the Pond Life channel, I've got a series of videos called Dream Pond. And you see my backyard when it was green, nothing but grass, and the first scoop of dirt that came out all the way through to what you see now.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So I was glad I went to that effort. It's meaningful for me to have those memories.
Right.
Right.
But I do leave it up there, not selfishly only, but because I think there's a lot of satisfaction in seeing a transformation like that over time across a few videos.
Yeah.
So I hope you like it. If I've convinced you to go check it out, I hope you get something out of it.
Yeah, I love that. And I remember specifically all the rocks being the pallets of rocks out front of the house before they started.
Well, I found out that's a terribly expensive pond. I'm very fortunate to have it. I mean, you got to save something to your 50s, right?
Right.
I'm glad that came my way. But I watched those guys. If you look back at even the short clip I just showed, every rock you see, some of them large boulders, were hand placed. None of those rocks, not one, were tossed in or dumped in. So you can't get that natural effect by a random dumping of rocks.
Oh, really?
So that kind of justifies the expense a little bit.
And not just that, it's kind of an art also to make it look the way you want it. It's your vision of your own pond.
Boom, you got it.
And
you didn't see it in that video. You will if you watch the series of videos on Pond Life. But that pond has a 26-foot long waterfall, cascading, and the birds love that waterfall. They stay outside and get in the splash. It's like a shower. They find a shallow spot on top of a rock and they bathe and drink. And sometimes I'll have over 100 birds just on the stream.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So in the 24/7 live stream on the Bird Garden channel, very active. I mean, I go out there every day about 4 o'clock, and it stays very busy until about 7 o'clock, 7:30. It's crazy. And then in the morning, it's very busy. But you're only seeing I don't know, they're more shy when they're feeding, or more aggressive. So I only see like 8 or 10 birds at a time on the feeder versus the 100 that can accumulate over there in the waterfall.
Wow.
And I want to, Bob, one of the things, a project, you may have noticed a coiled wire on that big rock there at the edge of the pond when I was feeding them just a moment ago. That is why I've got a pre-wire for an underwater cam.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm revealing here. Yeah, Taylor's Aquatics and Exotics. You get it here first.
Awesome.
I've got a plan for an underwater cam.
Wow.
And I don't know if that's going to be a 24/7 live or just something I draw regular content from, but it's going to have a partner of a full pond view, which is basically going to be the waterfall. Now, the downside of all of this that I found is that waterfall, even though it sounds lovely if you're at the pond listening,
Yeah.
when you record it or it comes across on a piece of AV equipment, it sounds just like static.
Yeah.
It was so disappointing. So if you ever see my pond on a video and you hear a babbling brook calming sound, know that that's artificial.
Yes.
I've had to borrow that.
I didn't know that.
That is so true. Oh,
And that's
my.
why there's no sound on the bird feeding station. I'd love to hear the birds chirp, but I bought a nice microphone for that purpose. It turns out it picks up too much of that water static, so we just had to turn the volume off on the bird feeder too.
Wow.
Rack, do you ever have any problems with predators trying to eat your koi?
Not that I know of. I'm not missing any, but I have seen bald eagle and osprey fly over, as well as great blue heron, and we have had bobcat, bear,
Oh, my.
possum, and raccoon in the yard. So I haven't seen any missing koi. I do have a fish cave built into the pond. And by the way, that cost extra on your pond build. But because I was uploading content as the build went on, the contractor decided to knock that off my bill, and he gave me the fish cave for free.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How big is the cave?
I think the largest one is going to be about 36 inches. Smallest one, is about 9 or 10 inches.
Do you see Killer Kitty's question there? Says, have you noticed any birds that you never had before the pond?
Oh yeah. Like so we get the seed eating birds at the feeder, right? So all the insect eating and worm eating birds, they weren't coming to the feeder. So the tanagers, the orioles, mockingbird, flycatchers, we didn't see those in the yard before we added the water feature. And every bird watcher I know, I'm happy to explain that water feature, running water, splashing water, attracts birds, period. I don't care where you are.
Nice.
You get like seasonal birds that like to go for the water?
Oh, yeah. We get transient birds in migration both in the spring and fall. They'll stop over, bathe, drink, and be gone. I'll see them one day. They won't come back the second day. They're just in passing.
Sketty Nano says that I have snapping turtles, and muskrats. How can I get rid of them? I just stock with. I think there's more than that, but
just to be safe, keep everybody cool here, I would say check with your Division of Natural Resources. Here in Tennessee, turtles are really sensitive. You want to make sure that you're doing everything legal when you're dealing with turtles.
Bass and bluegill hybrids are the stock.
Okay, yeah, those are really cool. I knew a guy who had a farm pond, 3.5 acres, with bass and hybrid bluegill. It was an amazing fishing hole.
Scuba Steve said,
"Hey, Scuba Steve, good to see you.
Yeah.
Great to meet you too."
Yeah, that would make sense.
Absolutely, Chewy.
Sketty's new to a couple of the streams I've been in today, so I'm really glad they're here. So,
hey,
Yeah, I would
Sketty.
be able to meet him tonight too.
I like your cat.
he said that he's seen flying over, that he's seen bald eagles and ospreys.
Mm-hmm.
The
And the
heron.
great blue heron. They're the mean ones.
Yeah.
Oh, they do come there, the herons?
Well, I've seen them fly over, and we
Oh,
have them
okay.
around, but they haven't landed. And I think, a lot of times you guys who watch the live stream, you've seen my dog out there. So sometimes Lookout is patrolling, and those larger birds, they don't get too near when she's out.
It sounded like Lookout was patrolling in there a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
No, that was
Got her
my
eye on
dog.
everything.
I love Lookout.
That was your dog, wasn't it?
Yeah, my dog. That was my 3 labs. The wife walked in the
okay.
door and they were losing it.
I'm sorry, Lookout. Lookout's usually real quiet. So.
She is. She's a sweet girl. She didn't bark for 2 years.
Wow.
She was a rescue. When I got her, she was in such rough shape she wouldn't even walk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's right.
She came right out of it. She's a good girl.
Do you mind, Rack? I think all of us would enjoy if you would kind of segue into talking a little bit more about the birds and what you've just been doing in Hawaii. And
Oh, I'd love to, Bob, if that's okay. I mean, we're going to kind of go off the fish menu here for a minute.
I think we're all interested in that since it ties in.
Well, here's the tie-in. If you guys, Bob mentioned that he knew I was involved with Project Piaba, and I certainly supported that and even promoted it very seriously, sincerely, because I believed in what they were doing for the fish hobby, and conservation in general. Well, so when I was getting to know the people and the project, what I found out was Project Piaba started as a program to protect birds by conserving their habitat. So the birds are never far away, regardless of what kind of nature you're talking about. You're within 3 steps of a bird. And the birds, I've been watching birds since I was 10 years old on purpose. My first aquarium I had when I was 8 years old. Fish bowls before that. When I was old, my first memory of fish was my mom's guppy bowl. And then when I was old enough to work, a worker's permit, I think they called it back then, my first job was at a fish store. So I've always loved all of these animals, but for some reason, the birds caught my fancy. I think it's because I've never been to a place where there were not birds. And I've always enjoyed the outdoors. So no matter where you go then, in the outdoors, there's birds. And as I began to notice the birds, pay attention to them, then knew their names, it was like the way I say it now is it made my life better. I didn't understand it then. It was just kind of a kick, oh, that's cool.
Right.
Look, there's another one. And I learned how to identify them. And then you get into a relationship with them when you know their name. And then you want to know what they eat and where they live, how they interact with the other birds. And it's really, it was an attractive nuisance. I couldn't not do it. Every time I was outside, I was doing it. And I don't know if I learned that or if it was innate, but it's just the way it was. So I started making aquarium videos and made a lot of new friends. It was fantastic. And the people I were running around with said, why don't you make bird videos? And I was like, well, I like watching birds. I don't know if I want to turn that into a YouTube thing or not. Oh, people really like it. Why don't you do it? Oh my gosh, Bob, you've came up through YouTube. You know what it's like.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, you've got an excuse because you need some content. You might have to run over to Hawaii or something to get some content.
I haven't used that one, but now that I know it's valid, I will.
Oh, so I recommend if you want to go to Hawaii, get into birding. It'll draw you right over there. But seriously, that was a big reason we went to Hawaii. Well, we can get some content, and I have. We've been back 2 weeks now, and I've released 10 videos of the Hawaiian birds, and I really appreciate you letting me mention that, Bob, because there's nothing like getting a view on your video when you're a creator. I really appreciate that. It's a good feeling. So thank all of you guys if you've done that already.
Well,
and if you haven't, I'm here on Bob's show promising I did as much as I could to make it worth your time.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think you're going to really like it. And I started a group. I'm all about building community. Always have been. It's no fun to do it by myself. If there's not a group of us, it's not enough fun for me. I'm moving on. Right. But I started a YouTube group Facebook group at the Kauai Birding Trail. It's an active Facebook group. And I designed the Kauai Birding Trail before I went over there. And I proofed it while I was there, visited all the spots. And I'll be releasing all of that information. Right now, I'm doing videos on Honolulu. Beautiful city, wonderful. Oh my gosh. Just check out 2 or 3 seconds of a video and look at that Waikiki Beach. Amazing.
Welcome, Stephanie.
Hi, guys.
Stephanie.
Sorry I'm late.
I'm just yabbing on about birds in Hawaii.
Nice.
Well, so this Kauai Birding Trail, I proofed it and went to all the places, and it's simply amazing. I mean, Jurassic Park was filmed in Kauai. It is crazy how beautiful it is over there. So the Facebook group is active. Love to have you in there, and it's got beautiful photography of birds, lists of birds you can expect to see when you go to these locations. And if you see a bird with an interesting name, if you'll just Google it, of course the images come up, and most of them are pretty amazing. I'm going to say the majority of birds I saw in Hawaii I had never seen before. And that's one of the few times in my adult life I've ever been able to say that. First day in Hawaii, after 24 hours, I had about 20 new life birds on my life list. And I've said that only twice before in my birding career, and it was like the first time I ventured out of this area. I went to Arizona bird watching, and that happened. So, and that was going on 20 years ago. So just to tell you that this was the magnitude of this Hawaii trip for my birding hobby was enormous. It was crazy. I was so impressed. And I'll wrap up with this, Bob, and kick it back over to you. Thanks for the time. I wrote an ebook about travel to Hawaii. It's called Hawaiian Adventure. It takes a little bit of effort to get over to Hawaii. So I wrote this book that has sample itineraries, some ideas about how you can get over there, different ways, budget, premium, custom.
Nice.
Yep, some of the Hawaiian language that would be beneficial to know before you go over there, a page of that, and definitely some of the Hawaiian food specialties. I found that I was eating about 3 times a day when I was in Hawaii. And knowing the food, I could have gotten a hamburger, a steak anywhere, but knowing there was so much specialty food, I definitely tried some new foods over there and was glad that I did. So the ebook's out there if you want to check it out. It's linked in the new Hawaiian YouTube videos and also over there at the Kauai Birding Trail Facebook group. You can check up on it. I've got a couple of pages, sample pages you can look out there. Okay. So Bob, that's it. That's what's going on. A Hawaiian trip, Hawaiian content, Hawaiian ebook. It's all about the birds.
Pam posted the link there to the Facebook page, and I'm already a member, guys.
Yes, you are. Thank you, Pam.
If you want to be a cool kid, you need to get over there and check it out. It's an awesome.
All the cool kids are doing it.
And Keith Henshaw, Caged Aquatics, says if you're ever in OKC, we have a nice kayak bird sanctuary about 2 miles from me and see lots of scissor curl.
Awesome. There's a lot of benefits to birding trails. That'd be another show talking about that.
Sure. It would be. I'm just making sure there's no questions in here. And that's the Aquaria Life that came in back on Pam's stream this morning. You were saying.
Yes, Aquaria Life.
That's Stephanie. Stuba Steve.
Good to know you, Stephanie.
Nice to meet you too, Rex.
And if you want, Rex, I'll bring you back down so you can see it. Is that okay? There we go. Any tips when shipping fish? Is that for Rack? Steve? I think it is.
I don't have a lot of experience shipping fish, but I did ship a lot of poison dart frogs, which in my estimation are a lot more sensitive. And the idea there is to keep the animal comfortable. And the way you do that is to regulate their temperature, keep within a range. And one of the things I saw all the froggers doing and none of the fish people doing was double boxing with an airspace in between, not for thicker cardboard, but an airspace. it's called a vapor barrier in physics, and it really slows down the movement of heat in either direction. So a box inside a box with an airspace around it is really awesome.
Thank you,
Also,
Steve.
Scuba Steve, Dan has a great video on shipping fish. Rachel
Dan's
O'Leary
video
has
is the
an
best I've
amazing-
ever seen as far as packing goes.
Rachel O'Leary has a great video on shipping fish. I would definitely recommend shipping overnight, 100% if possible. And there's some tips on doing that. You can go to UPS and do simple rate or simple saver. Sorry not to hijack the conversation, but it's really important when you ship. You don't want to have any
Oh,
fish
no.
perish.
You're on topic.
Thanks for contributing. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And I was going to mention too, when Rack's talking about shipping frogs, I found out recently if you want more of Rack, pre-Rack, you're paying for this. He comes. Sometimes we're lucky, and he comes and hangs out on Pam's channel late night with us. Punchy.
I knock on the door. Sometimes she answers. Yeah.
She'll let him in. Yeah. And,
Sometimes I peek out the window and say, "Oh hell no."
but he's a wealth of knowledge on lots and lots of topics. For instance, reptiles, and I've learned a lot from him just from listening. He used to own a reptile business, so so check him out on there sometime too. All right. Any other questions or comments? This panel got quiet for some reason.
We were listening and learning.
I know.
I've been watching birds this year now myself
Really?
in my backyard because, I've spent a lot of time listening to you on the streams this past year. And so we've got bird feeders out there, even though they say, oh, don't feed the birds because of whatever. So, but
Actually,
I've got lots of cardinals building nests.
That's awesome, Dee Dee. Now, I want everybody to check up on what she said there. Let's be responsible. They're telling folks to take their feeders down that are affected by this bird flu that's going around. Do your due diligence on that. I did get someone forwarded me. Okay, you understand? I just said someone forwarded me, right? It's not my information. I didn't verify, but it was an article from Cornell University. There's no one that I hold in higher regard as far as communicating with the bird watchers and backyard bird feeder people, as well as the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. And they said this bird flu that is the scare isn't really impacted by whether or not you have a bird feeder up. But do your own due diligence. I'm putting that on your buffet of options as a starting point.
Well, I didn't realize this bird flu was farther than I thought it was like poultry, but it can be wild bird also.
Do your own. As soon as I speak, someone's going to take a pop shot.
Gotcha.
I've heard similar things to that, Ed. I've heard similar things. Last year we had a different bird contamination, and I did monitor it. It came as far south as Kentucky, and I monitored it every day. I even had bought. This is funny. I bought the little stuffed animal birds, and I was going to hang them on my birding feeder when I had to take the food down while we were on pause, because you don't think about that stuff until you put your bird feeder on YouTube 24/7.
That's funny.
But it didn't make it down to Tennessee. We never got a warning. We never. Thank goodness.
Well,
They always said that like regular flu is spread around the world by ducks and waterfowl. I wonder if the bird flu is spread the same way.
That makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Rack, if it ever hits Tennessee and we're supposed to do that, could you just let me know in a private chat?
Oh man, listen, yeah, public, private. I'm definitely I'm going to be an announcer for that, because I do care about the birds, and I have built an audience. I do feel a little bit of responsibility that way. Hey, it does make your life better, but let's do it responsibly.
Well, I have several feeders, but I guess I'm pretty ignorant to what's going on in the real world.
Yeah, I'll make sure you're notified, Ed.
See,
Maybe I'll speak to Bob and say, because Bob, he's the director of an animal rescue. If I said, Bob, I got some birds in peril, will you give me some airtime? I bet he would.
I definitely will.
You write that check, Rack. You're next.
Not even. Keep those checks coming, Rack. One thing I wanted to interject is what Rack said about Cornell University. Is I have long followed them and their cat information, and they have a newsletter called Cat Watch, and it's online now as well. But Cornell University has dogs. They have awesome information, and it's fact-based. So I'm glad you brought that up, Rack.
Yeah, good resource.
They are the place, you know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you. I know that's what you always do, Rack, is that, you know, you base information on facts. And you see how he's very careful to say someone sent me and not I heard, you know, he's given his own experience and stuff. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned from my mistakes.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So, Bob, why? Damn it.
You said, why weren't you there this weekend? I wanted to meet you.
I was laying in the bed, Robert. I wanted to meet you too. I was laying in the bed. It's a long story, but basically I cut my alarm off and laid back down thinking that I was going to get right back up, and I didn't. So.
I'll bang on his door next year.
Yeah. I'll be there next year. Don't worry.
I just unboxed a whole bunch of plecos and corridors from Dr. Anthony. You guys want to get a sneak peek?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great.
Real quick.
All right. Yeah.
Please.
Let me bring you up here.
Rack, can you tell us about each one of these FishFam bags or shows us?
I think I'll defer to her. Is what I'll do.
That is a black wall.
It is a black wall. So I got to put the lid on. Oh, let me take the camera off this thing.
How you doing?
Okay, so they're washed out because they're stressed. I literally just unboxed them. That's why I was late. This is the L204 Flash Emperor Pleco. Wow. There's an L397 Pinoculus. They're very large. There's the Black Venezuela. This is a CW140. Those originally are from Eric Bodrock. Emperor Pleco. L397. There's gold lasers and green lasers. And there's the Emperor Pleco. And there's also a Corridors Atropersonatus that's back there. I don't know if it's gonna focus. But what's cool, I have to put some caves in here because they're definitely looking for some caves. They're very large, but these plecos or cories were schooling earlier, and it was really cool.
Oh wow!
It just goes to show, like, you really, if you can, try to get at least 6 to 8 to 12 cories if you're starting out, because they really need to be in numbers. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick sneak peek.
That's
so pretty.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice.
I like the layout of that tank. It's perfect for what you've got in there, of course.
Oh, thanks. It's actually a quarantine tank.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're in there. I like it.
That's why they're all in there together right now. I mean, it should be bare bottom, but I can't do that.
No.
I don't know why.
Those guys.
Anyway.
Nice.
Thanks for letting me share.
Let me bring you back down.
I can't figure out how to get my camera turned back around. For some reason.
That's me, and I know how to do it. I can't find the buttons half the time.
Close.
So you have several different kinds of plecos in the same tank?
So right now, since I can't figure out how to turn my camera back around, we'll just keep it on this. So right now there's these are Pinoculus. So they're the same type of pleco.
Oh, okay.
But you can, it just depends on, I mean, if you're wanting to breed them, definitely not. Because they will most likely interbreed, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, especially if you're breeding. I would try to keep them separate.
I like your sponge filter.
This is the tower block filter from Swiss Tropicals.
Oh, yeah, I know those guys.
I am a humongous fan of Swiss Tropicals. There's the L173 tank. The super whites are in here. The L306s are in here too. There's a super white. Look at all these rainbow fry. Well, it doesn't look like a lot right now.
Oh yeah,
It does.
Nice.
yeah.
The Melanotania papui and the Pseudomugel Ivan Sopheyes. What else I got? Okay, that's pretty much it. I got more, but it's dark in here, and I can't figure out how to turn my camera back around.
Here's some. There you go on the screen. I think. No, it jumped. There you go. Adele's telling you now on the screen.
Oh, here it is.
Got it?
It's like that little thing, that little option disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't get it to scroll back up.
Yeah. Thank you for showing us that. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Adele. I'm always technologically challenged. Definitely.
I'm right there with you. Right with you.
Every once in a while I get lucky on it. That's it.
That made me think. Rack said something about. You said you had babies from last year in the pond.
Right.
How did they, in a pond like that? It's hard to imagine never having had a pond. How do they spawn, and how do they don't eat the babies? You have to pull them, or
Yeah, Bob. I'm pretty sure that those fish that spawned were adults and probably had 10,000 or more eggs, and they did eat most of them. But when you think about all of those rocks, we're 16 feet by 10 feet, so the perimeter is all rocks, all the crevices, all the hiding places. That's so really not good odds, 12 out of 10,000 or more, but that was enough. And I'll tell you, I've noticed in nature over and over when gravid females are stressed, they'll lay eggs. And I think we did the spring clean out last year, and we had a female full of eggs. They took them out of the pond, cleaned the pond, put them back in the pond, and I think she was just upset enough to lay those eggs, even though the ideal habitat didn't exist. It's clear water with the rock surface, right? We didn't have any slick surfaces, nothing floating to hide or protect the eggs, no plants. I mean, the whole thing had just been wiped out. But she did, and apparently it was a large spawn, and the water, I mean, I don't even want to tell you how much it costs to have that thing professionally cleaned. And then a week later, solid jet green. It's the true monster. So I think we had a hella spawn. And by the time we got the water cleaned up, I see little babies on the edge.
wow.
Way to go, guys. Way to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was trying to do it my way, and they went ahead and did it their way.
Right.
Always, right?
Yeah. But I love them. I do. It's part of it. It doesn't. I'll tell you, my Zen only works out there when the water's clear. When the water turns green, there's no more Zen.
No.
There's still cool fish.
Well, do you think you'll have that camera in, underwater camera, before they spawn?
Not this year because they haven't spawned. We had the clean out done while we were in Hawaii, and we came back and the waters remained clear. So there was no spawn this year.
Okay.
And I don't know if the fish already acclimated to, oh yeah, this guy takes us out, puts us over here, then puts us back in, no big deal. But there was no spawn this year.
Huh.
And the underwater cam, I don't know, that's a big question mark, Bob. I've got the hardware. I've done the hard part, the wire, the leads installed. That I had to know that it will not be a 24/7 live feed. That's a special high-end camera for the bird feeding station to broadcast that on YouTube. So I don't have. Is it going to be a separate channel? Underwater Koi? Is it going to be constant content? And if so, am I going to sacrifice the bird content? it's one of the evils of having multiple channels. That's exactly what it is.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't have clarity.
Sorry. How did you clear it up? Did you use a UV filter or?
Yeah, I laugh and say prayer and vitamins. But,
Yeah.
I added an enormous load of plants, number one. And so many of the pond surface plants that, are illegal places. The water lettuce and is it water hydrangea?
It's
Hyacinth.
Hyacinth. Yeah, they get very nice root structures that they just eat nutrients. It was great. And then I used a product by Aquascapes. It's called a Flocculant. So apparently that gathers up some of the micros to make them a macro, and they fall out, which kind of clears some of the cloud out. Nice. And also they have some products that are on the natural side. I didn't use anything like no UV, no copper, no chemical, but a lot of micronutrients, because that's the way I wanted to roll. So I use this thing, they call them gummies, and it's just like what's the little Fritz product you start an aquarium with the
Turbo Start.
Okay, so
Fritz
it's like Turbo Start. It's in like a sundae size ice cream cup for a pond, right? You can put up to one a day in until it clears. There you go, Skipper. And so it gradually started getting better. And then by late summer, the direct sun, I have no shade. It won. The water turned green, stayed green, hair algae started growing, and it was. I had to admit my shortcoming. I don't have the situation that's going to facilitate 100% natural algae deterrent. So we're in talks now, knowing that that's coming again. We probably will add UV, and that will kill also the micronutrient load, the beneficial bacteria. But that's not enough for that pond getting so much sunlight. I mean, those koi. Did you see the size of those koi? Those are decent sized fish. They're making a nutrient load in that pond, and I can't get enough micro start. You wouldn't believe the surface area I've got, but it's not winning too much. If I had shade, I do believe, and this may not be a true statement, I believe if I had 30% shade, I could do it. So I've got 0% shade, and so we're probably going to add UV. And we're not going to stop there. We're going to have clean water, whatever it takes.
You have a question?
Yeah. What's that, Ed?
Is putting a tree in next to it out of the question?
The way that the type of tree that we would need is a very mature tree. So we can't install a mature tree. And then it's a soft lining. It's a rubber lining with those rocks on it. So if the tree were too close, then the roots grow into the lining. Mm-hmm. And then in the fall, public enemy number one is the deciduous leaves. They clog the skimmer. So
what about some kind of lattice work? I forget what that's called in the South here, with an evergreen vine on it.
An arbor.
Yeah, an arbor or something.
Yeah,
like
I think that's going to be the solution, Bob. And probably we'll use some nursery screen, at different levels to start with, until we can get an established evergreen, like an ivy vine or something that won't fill the pond with leaves. Yeah, I think that is the solution.
Awesome.
I have to take off, you guys. You guys have a good night. I want
you too,
to get some space in this tank. I just wanted to say hi.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Glad you did. See you later, Stephanie.
Anyway.
See you next week. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Stephanie. Bye. And Skipper is playing Maria Z. He's reminded me and let me know that Daniken just started. So
good.
We don't want to go over Kenny and
Bob. Before we go, is this group Tennessee Fish Mafia? Are all these mobsters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. See their names on there.
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
Well, see, I didn't have my Mafia name up. I just wanted everybody to know I don't have a problem. I'm one of you. It's a family reunion.
Yeah.
Right. Rack, we would love to have you come and join us every Sunday night. No pressure, live in front of, all these people, but he
Well,
smiled.
if you think I measure up, Bob.
And a ukulele's a must.
Yes. Yes. But we'll talk about it. At least come back another time. At least.
Yeah, every time I have a new song ready, I'll let you know.
A new song.
Can you work on some Italian Tennessee mix for us?
That would require work. That would definitely require work.
Yeah, I'm confident you can do it. You have the talent.
Anybody can do it.
Italian.
Tennessee Italian. Thank you, Rack, so much.
No, Bob,
Really
thank you. I've enjoyed it so much. Thank you.
It was familiar, but also a very nice change up to things that tied in. Really a treat. Thank you. And thank you, panel. Always awesome. Everybody on here is awesome. And the members, the chat, the mods, everybody, thank you. So I'll see you over at Kennedy's. And we'll end this thing.